Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Right now is one of the most unique times in baseball history if you really think about it. A lockout that began during the middle of the hot stove, interrupting most teams' roster construction, with the probability that when operations resumed, everyone would be operating under an entirely different set of financial rules. The lockout is now getting more contentious, and with pitchers and catchers supposed to report in less than 2 weeks, spring training is almost certainly going to be delayed. And then you're going to have one of the craziest times in baseball history. It's going to be incredible. There are numerous big-name impact free agents available. You got Carlos Correa still out there. You've got Trevor Story still out there. And there's a ton of trades that could be made because you've got 15 DH positions opening up in the National League. It's pretty much a certainty that the DH is coming to the National League. So there's going to be roster movement that is unheard of and so fast, so crazy that anything can happen. So expect the unexpected. All of the other teams know this. And that's why I think you're starting to see more stories leak to the press, such as the one about Freddie Freeman that I'm about to discuss. Teams are going to start positioning themselves to strike quickly when the lockout ends. So trade talks are likely ongoing and entering their final phases as we speak. So I'm going to bring up a couple of different stories that are out there, and I'm going to tell you how they could be connected and how they could be strategically leaked bits of misinformation designed to influence negotiations or disrupt the market a little bit. In recent days on social media, you've seen that Freddie Freeman's name has been brought up in connection with the Yankees. This came from John Heyman. Freeman to the Yankees is something that was unthinkable at the end of last season. He's probably the most beloved member of the Atlanta Braves team that just won their first World Series in 26 years, and he's still a great player. So you figure he would end up back in Atlanta getting the ring ceremony at home in front of his fans. But the fact that the Braves didn't lock him up has created some interesting ripples and some interesting opportunities to plant stories here and there. We know that teams can't meet with or talk with players during the lockout period. Nobody has seen Freddie Freeman at dinner with Brian Cashman or anything like that. So this rumor that the Yankees are going to go hard after him has to come from one of two sides. It has to come from either the Yankees camp or the Freeman camp. If it came from the Freeman camp, it's disinformation in an effort to drive up his price with the Braves. Since the two sides can't talk, one way to negotiate is by planting stories to the media. There's no way for Freeman to know what the Yankees are planning to do. The other possibility is that it came from the Yankees camp. And the way that the tweet is presented by Heyman saying that the Yankees love him makes it sound like it came from the Yankees camp. From here, we break it down to two possibilities. The first one is that it's true, that he's got accurate information, that the Yankees may actually prefer to sign Freddie Freeman and spend a big chunk of their money trying to lure him away from Atlanta and shore up first base and add one of the best left-handed hitters in the game. It's a good strategic move for your lineup. I don't know about the long-term effectiveness of bringing in a guy at his age and signing him for $30 million per year, but hey, it could happen. Possibility number two is more likely, in my opinion. It seems like strategically leaked disinformation designed to bring down the price for Matt Olson. There was another report about a week ago that leads me to this conclusion. The Yankees were, according to Andy Martino, unwilling to part with shortstop prospect Oswald Peraza in talks prior to the lockout. But just a couple of weeks before the lockout, the Yankees had accordingly not even exchanged names with the Oakland A's. That's according to Jack Curry, who, by the way, was on the show last week. Go check it out. If talks between the Yankees and the A's had stalled over the inclusion or non-inclusion of Oswald Peraza, it would make sense for the Yankees to be perceived as having another option and to be moving strongly in that direction. The Freeman report is fishy to me, and my spider sense is tingling. Put that story out there so that the A's know that, hey, you don't have to give up Peraza because you can just sign Freddie Freeman. I'm sticking with my prediction. I think this is false information, and I think the Yankees are trading for Matt Olson rather than signing Freddie Freeman. $30 million is a lot of money for a guy who's already in his 30s, and even though he's a great player, he's not going to be getting better over the next few years, whereas Matt Olson might still get better for the next few years. The lockout and the murky nature of the upcoming financials make everything tricky. In quantum physics, there's this notion of superposition, where something exists only as a set of probable outcomes. I get the feeling that the entire MLB offseason is in a state of quantum superposition right now. A vast number of scenarios are realistic at this point, and nobody really knows how things are going to play out. So kick your feet up, enjoy the Super Bowl, and wait for the lawyers to bang this whole thing out, and hopefully we'll get this operation moving again. But I'm still sticking with my prediction. I think Matt Olson is the perfect fit for the Yankees, and I still think the Yankees are going to have to give up Oswald Peraza if they want to make that happen.